Welcome to the Vue Circular Gauge tutorial. The Syncfusion Vue Circular Gauge is a versatile component for visualizing numeric data on a circular scale. It uses one or more pointers to indicate values on the scale. It is fully customizable and can be used to create speedometers, meters, analog clocks, and more. In this video, I will show you how to create a Vue application and add the Syncfusion Vue Circular Gauge component to it. I will also show you how to change the axis point of value, start and end angles, axis radius, start and end ranges, and labels. I will start with the application creation process. I'm going to create a Vue application using the Vue command. I will be using Visual Studio Code as my code editor and viewing outputs in the Microsoft Edge browser. Make sure you have installed the latest versions of Vue and Node.js. To create a project in Vue, I open Visual Studio Code and type the command npm create Vue@latest. I provide the app name, my Vue app. Next, I choose Vue as the framework and JavaScript as the variant. The Vue project has been created. I navigate to the newly created Vue app and install the required dependencies using the npm install command. Now the application is configured with the default settings of a Vue project. To add the Syncfusion Vue Circular Gauge component, I install the Syncfusion Vue Circular Gauge package using the command npm install at syncfusion/ej2 Vue Circular Gauge --save. This command will install the Vue Circular Gauge package along with its dependencies. Once the installation is completed, the application is ready to use. The first thing I must do here is register the trial license key to use the Syncfusion components. I open the main.js file and import the register license method from the Syncfusion ej2 base package. Using this method, I register the trial license key. To see how to generate the license key, refer to the link in the description below. The application is now configured to use Syncfusion Vue components. To start using the Circular Gauge component, I open the app view page and remove the default code snippets. I import the Circular Gauge component from the Syncfusion ej2 Vue Circular Gauge package and add the ej's Circular Gauge tag in the template section. I will save the changes and run the application using the npm run dev command. The circular gauge is rendered with default elements like pointer, labels, and ticks. Here you can see the start and end angles starting at 200 degrees and ending at 160 degrees. You can customize these angles by setting custom values to them using the start angle and end angle properties. To do that, I add the axis tag, which can contain n number of axis tags within it. Since the gauge currently has a single axis, I will add a single axis tag now. Inside this tag, I will set the start angle to 270 degrees and the end angle to 90 degrees. To use the axis and the axis tags, I import the axis directive and axis directive modules from the Syncfusion ej2 Vue Circular Gauge package. When you look at the circular gauge now, the axis starts at 270 degrees and ends at 90 degrees. By default, the radius will be based on the available screen size. If I want to set a custom radius, I need to use the radius property. Inside the axis tag, I add the radius property and set its value to 150 pixels. You can also set the radius as a percentage. Now you can see the circular gauge rendered with a 150 pixel radius. Notice the circular gauge point is positioned at 0 by default. To change the point's position during initial loading, I can use the value property. Within the axis tag, I add an ePointers tag, which can accept n number of ePointed tags within it. Since the gauge holds a single pointer currently, I add one ePointed tag. I add the value property and set its value to 40. To use the ePointers and ePointed tags, I import the pointers directive and pointer directive modules from the Syncfusion EJ2 Vue Circular Gauge package. Check now, the pointer is positioned at 40. Next, I will show you how to change the radius of the pointer cap. I define an object named cap and set the radius property to 20. Then I assign this object to the cap property of the pointer tag. See, the pointer cap's radius is 20 pixels now. Next, let's see how to set ranges in the circular gauge. I add the eRanges tag, which accepts n number of eRange tags. I am adding one eRange tag here. I set the start property to 40 and the end property to 100. To use the eRanges tag and eRange tag, I import the ranges directive and range directive modules from the Syncfusion EJ2 Vue Circular Gauge package. Look, now the range is between 40 and 100 on the circular scale. Finally, I'll explain how to change the label position. By default, the labels are placed inside the axis. I can also place the labels outside. I define an object named label style and set the position to outside. I assign this object to the label style property of the axis tag. Looking here, the labels are placed outside the axis. In this video, I have shown you how to add the Syncfusion Circular Gauge component to a Vue application. I also showed you how to change the axis pointer value, start and end angles, axis radius, start and end ranges, and labels. If you want to try out the example used in this video, you can download it from the GitHub link in the description below. I have also shared a link where you can learn about obtaining a free license key to use our Vue suite through our community license if you are eligible. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel.